the sentiment. We must use the conscience of God and not religious conscience.
I want you to come back.
Yes.
That give and take, the political ideology is about distribution, to meet needs, a welfare state.
That's supposed to be an ideal state, moderator. Yes. You are talking about an ideal society. The ideal thing suppose distribution of wealth to grow the wealth. When there's a lopsided management,
or let's say the distribution of wealth to grow the people.
When you have wealth distributed, you are automatically growing the people. But when you have wealth lopsided distribution, the talents, the creator, the creative brain, the productive arm, which is the shapers, will not be used. We will be using the most expensive arm, but the other are the corrupt one who are not qualified.
And now I want to cut it short. I want you to look at. We are still looking at the
moral principles,
the ideology that founds what we do, the ventures, because the ventures are built up from the ideas. There's what they are set to achieve, to make to lessen the pains of the people. That's just it. Service rendering is to lessen the pains of the people, to alleviate if it cannot be eradicated,
and to create an enabling environment.
Now look at, if we go to, let's look at road construction, for instance. I mentioned road construction because the roads bring development easily. They open up the places, open up the markets. It is the roads that open up places, open up markets.
The rural area and the
urban. It is the road network. Now, the roads are getting spoiled, and nothing is happening about them.
Not only that it's being spoiled, moderator, the safety and the security of the life on the road. The marauders, the thieves, the armed robbers, and kidnappers make a mess of well-established public infrastructure systems. Let us not cover this thing under the ground. Even you put a world-class road all over the system, what about the safety of the road? Security of life on the road? What about the question of kidnappers? So all these key factors make the investment in this part of the world to be an issue of second thought. The politicians, yes, agree. They have not actually used the resources for the purpose of bringing them to the office. But we must also look at the safety and security. Because people will be making a mockery of us. What are these people saying? They have forgotten that life is no longer safe in this part of Africa.
I want us to look at the macrocosm. Let us come home a little. Let us start from the scratch, looking at our roads on the streets, the streetways, that the roads that have been constructed for years are getting the potholes everywhere. Now, if the ideology behind the construction of roads is to better the people, okay, it's time to redirect the laws. Rather than wait for the local government, wait for the local government to construct the roads or reconstruct the roads or maintain the roads, the people on the street, the law can grant access to the people on the street to write, and they get authorized to do the roads, and the government sees where they can take care of them through tax
rebate, total rebate or tax holiday.
Yes.
That's a very laudable school of thought. We can actually waive tax holiday or tax vacation to encourage the private sector to use the idle resources, mobilizing the idle resources from the private cover to actually build lasting and durable, profitable infrastructure for the future, for the benefit of the government of all of us. I agree with that school of thought, that we can mobilize idle resources from the private sector, and then they are being compensated in form of tax waiver, tax holiday, tax credit. The private sector Okay, even let's look at the quality of roads. How come about road lasts for 30 years, 12 years in abroad, and the road cannot last for 3 months here, 6 months? In fact, the road, before you commission the road is already dilapidated. How? The quality of supervision, monitoring, and evaluation. Then the purpose of the contractors and contractee. Who is awarding the road for what purpose? And how much is being put into the road? What budget and what performance? There's something called standard costing. You allocated 1 billion for a project, and in the actual fact, you spend 40% of that money. You don't expect quality job. So that is going back to the moral principles. If you allocate 1 billion for a project, maybe construction of minimum housing for the whole communities, and the contractor spends just 40% and pocket 600 million and share it among the boys, definitely you don't expect good housing. You don't expect viral future. So we need to go back to the drawing board, the moral principle, the philosophy. Take for instance Singapore, take for instance Korea. Why is it Malaysia? Why is it that all these tigers they are doing fine? The quality of the people don't
Look at no. This is about because you see when you say quality of people in
the
government.
government.
Now because I know that leaders were taken from amongst the people.
People.
Okay, so the quality of the people you have as leaders
Mm.
and the direct representation of what you have in the foliage, the quality of what you have in the leadership is just telling you exactly what it is.
Mr. Moderator,
But I want to
look at this school of thought. These people always say it blindly. The greatest asset is human head. What a very costly error. The greatest asset is not avalanche of human heads. The greatest productive engine